You ever walk into a room and forget why you went there? Or pick up your phone, only to stare at it blankly, wondering what you were about to do? Believe me, you're not alone. It happens to all of us, especially as we get older. But here's the thing. Just because we're aging doesn't mean our minds have to slow down. In fact, your brain still has plenty of life and spark in it. It just needs a little daily tune-up. Think of your brain like an old radio. You know, those sturdy ones that sat in the living room back in the day. They might take a second to warm up, but once they do, the sound is just as rich, just as clear. That's your mind. It might take a bit more encouragement now than it did in your 30s, but it can still hum beautifully with the right care. Now, I'm not talking about sitting for hours solving puzzles or diving into complicated books, unless that's your thing, of course. I'm talking about just 10 minutes a day. That's it. 10 minutes to help your brain stay sharp, focused, and feeling alive. And the best part? You don't even need to leave your house. Over the next little while, I'm going to share some simple, joyful ways you can train your brain right from your living room chair. These ideas aren't about making you feel like you're back in school. They're about making you feel more confident in your everyday life, remembering names a little quicker, keeping track of your errands, or just feeling more mentally awake in the morning. Doesn't that sound nice? Let's begin with one of my favorites, and it might surprise you. Talking to yourself out loud. Yep, that's right. The next time you're doing something around the house, try narrating it out loud like you're on a cooking show. Now I'm putting the kettle on. 1 spoon of tea, not 2. It might feel silly at first, but speaking out loud activates different areas of your brain. It improves memory, keeps your thoughts organized, and it's actually quite fun. Plus, if anyone hears you, just tell them you're rehearsing your podcast. That'll throw them off. Here's another one, and it's as easy as it gets. Switch hands. Try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, or open jars with the opposite hand you usually use. It sounds simple, but it forces your brain to wake up and pay attention. You're building new neural connections every time you do something unfamiliar. It's like giving your brain a little workout. Not strenuous, but definitely effective. And while we're on the subject of movement, dance. Oh yes, don't underestimate what a few minutes of dancing can do for your mind. Put on your favorite old tune, maybe something from Nat King Cole or the Supremes, and just sway. Or tap your feet. When you move to music, your brain is syncing rhythm, coordination, memory, and emotion all at once. That's like brain cardio. And let me tell you, nothing lifts your mood quicker than remembering how good it feels to move your body, even if it's just in the kitchen. You see, brain training isn't about doing big, difficult things. It's about doing small things that make your brain pay attention. And you don't have to be perfect at them. In fact, it's even better when you mess up a little. That's where the real growth happens. Now, there's another thing that helps keep the mind sharp, especially when the house feels a bit too quiet. Conversation. Yes, real conversation. Not just the good morning or how was your night? Kind, but honest to goodness chatting. Whether it's with a neighbor, a friend on the phone, or the cashier at the store, having a few minutes of back and forth talk works wonders for your brain. Think about it. When we talk to someone, we're listening, thinking, remembering, responding. That's a whole lot of mental activity, and it keeps the wheels turning upstairs. And if you don't have someone around to talk to today, don't worry. You can talk to yourself, remember? Or even better, try storytelling. Pull out an old photo album, hold up a picture, and just talk through the memory. Say it out loud. Oh, this was our trip to Enugu in '78. That was the year the car broke down on the way, remember? The more detail you give, the more your brain engages. Faces, places, smells, sounds. It all comes alive again. And that's powerful brain medicine. Now here's another little secret. Learn something small every day. And I mean small. You don't have to memorize the dictionary or start learning Chinese, unless you want to. But try picking up just one new thing a day. Maybe it's the meaning of a word you heard on the radio, or the name of a flower in your garden you never knew, or a new recipe. When you learn something, even a tiny fact, it's like lighting a spark in your brain. And the more sparks you light, the brighter the mind stays. I had a friend, Miss Adironk, who used to write down one new word she learned every morning. Just one. She'd hear it on the news or in a book, look it up, and say it out loud 3 times. Tenacious, she'd say, smiling. I'm feeling tenacious today. And you know what? She was sharp as a tack well into her 80s. It's those small habits that add up. And speaking of habits, let's talk about routine with variety. Now, I know that sounds funny. How can something be a routine and have variety at the same time? But it's possible. Having a daily rhythm gives your mind a sense of order. Wake up, make tea, stretch, read, rest. That's good. But if you always do things the exact same way, your brain starts running on autopilot. So every now and then, switch it up. Take your tea in a different room. Listen to a different radio station. Walk the garden path backward. Or, well, maybe not backward. We don't want any accidents, but you get the idea. Even rearranging a few books on the shelf or trying a new fruit at the market can give your mind something fresh to chew on. Your brain craves novelty, even in small doses. Keep feeding it little surprises, and it'll stay curious, alert, and engaged. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you closed your eyes and really listened? I mean really. The birds outside, the hum of the fridge, the sound of your own breathing. You might be surprised what you notice. Which brings me to something truly beautiful, mindful moments. These are those little pauses in your day when you simply pay attention to the now. Not the bills, not the past, not what's coming next. Just now. Take a few deep breaths and tune into your senses. What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you feel under your feet? That kind of stillness, just for a minute or two, calms the mind and sharpens it. It tells your brain, hey, we're here, we're alive, and we're paying attention. And honestly, that's one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves at this stage of life. To be present, to notice, to feel connected to the moment we're in without rushing through it. Our brains don't just want speed and memory, they want meaning. And meaning comes from attention. So whether you're sipping tea, talking to a friend, dancing to an old record, or learning a new word, remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be intentional. A little bit every day. That's all it takes. Now, if you're still with me, and I hope you are, there are a few more joyful ways to keep that beautiful mind of yours in motion. Like creativity. Now, don't let that word scare you off. I'm not saying you have to paint like Picasso or write poetry like Wole Soyinka. Creativity simply means doing something a little differently, using your imagination in a way that feels natural to you. Maybe that's doodling while you sip your morning tea, or humming a tune while folding laundry. Maybe it's trying your hand at that crochet project you put aside years ago, or even writing a little letter to your younger self. One woman I know, Mama Josephine, started keeping a memory notebook. Every evening, she'd jot down one memory from her younger days. It didn't have to be anything big, just a moment. The first time I wore red lipstick. The day we brought home our first radio. Before long, those small entries turned into stories, and those stories brought her so much joy and clarity. You'd be surprised how much of your past is waiting to come back to life with just a little invitation. And that brings me to something that might be the most powerful brain training of all, gratitude. Now, hear me out. I know we've all been through things. Life's not always been easy, especially as we get older. There are days when we feel tired, or a bit lonely, or unsure of what's ahead. But even in those moments, taking just 1 minute to think about what we're thankful for can light up our brain in ways no puzzle ever could. Gratitude shifts your attention. It moves your mind from what's wrong to what's still good. And goodness knows, there's always something. A warm meal, the smile of a neighbor, the sound of rain on the window, your favorite song on the radio. That shift in focus doesn't just make you feel better. It strengthens emotional resilience, improves sleep, and even helps memory. The mind and the heart, they're more connected than we realize. So each day, try naming 3 things you're grateful for. Say them out loud, write them down, or just hold them quietly in your thoughts. It might not seem like brain training in the traditional sense, but it nourishes your spirit, and a nourished spirit keeps the mind alive. And that's really the message I want to leave you with. Your mind is not a thing of the past. It's still yours. It's still working. It still has so much to give. You are capable of learning, laughing, remembering, connecting. You are still growing, even now. 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes. A conversation, a dance, a new word, a thankful thought. These little actions, done with care, keep your brain alive and well. Not to avoid aging, but to embrace it fully with clarity, confidence, and joy. And if no one's told you lately, you're doing beautifully. Every small effort you make to care for yourself matters. And you're not alone. There's a whole community of us here, cheering each other on, one thoughtful breath at a time. If this video made you smile, helped you reflect, or gave you an idea to try today, go ahead and click that like button. It tells me this kind of content is helping, and I'd love to keep bringing you more. And don't be shy, leave a comment, and tell me your favorite brain-boosting habit. We learn so much from one another. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. We've got a lot of wisdom to share in this little corner of the internet. Until next time, take care of your beautiful self. Stay curious, stay kind, and remember, you're never too old to feel young again.